Good morning, English 12. Good snowy morning. I hope you enjoyed your cozy Sunday, that you hunkered down and you did some work in English 9. Woohoo! This is actually our last session in Unit 7, and then we're going to be moving on to our last unit of the semester, if you can believe it. So this week we are working really hard. Last week you worked really hard in doing some pre-writing for your theme explication essay. You basically created your rough draft through using that outline. So what we are doing this week is we are writing that first draft, submitting it into peer editing for review by your peers and by me. That's where you're going to be getting your feedback from me, is in the peer editing portion. And then you have an exit slip, just a reflection on your learning process within this unit. You know, it's really important to think about what you learned and why you learned it, and then how you learned it. So we're thinking about all those different that learning process. So bring to your attention right here, session 4 that we started this week, Monday, is due by the 20th, by the end of the day, Sunday, midnight. Remember, all work is, you're able to do it Monday through Friday, but I give you that cushion of a weekend to complete your work. Here's an really important date as well. June 27th, not June, my goodness, you know where my head is. April 27th is the last day to submit all late work for Unit 7. So basically, all the work from Unit 7, except discussion, as always, can be submitted for late credit, for partial credit, for up to 85% credit by Sunday, April 27th. So that's a really important date to keep on your calendar as well. Okay, so as always, the way we navigate through our session is clicking by materials, clicking on Unit 7, and you can see this is our session this week and the due date. Click on the folder. As always, you watch the video, first thing that you do, and then you click on the session plan. And as I mentioned earlier, this week we're going to be working on that first draft, your peer editing, and then finally submitting your final. Also, as I mentioned, is that late work due date, really super important to get your grade to where you want it. The help session on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 1 p.m., you just click on that link. And it's a live session, it's a question answer, and you can kind of think of it as just walking into my classroom or walking into my office for questions. But you don't have to wait till Wednesday, 1 o'clock. You can always contact me at any time this week during the week, and I'm happy to help. Here's our assignment list and the point value, and here's that suggested schedule for the week. So today, watch this recording, and then start working from your outline in session 3 actually, I'll change that, and create your first draft. Tomorrow, submit your first draft into the peer review and review and provide feedback on one student's draft. On Wednesday, review and provide feedback on a second student draft. Then finally, Thursday, revise your draft considering your feedback from your peers and from me. And then finally, on Friday, submit your final draft of your theme explication essay and then complete the exit slip assignment. When you're doing your peer editing, be sure that if there is somebody, students tend to click on the very first person in a peer discussion. And so my reaction actually is to go to the bottom and pick the last one, because those are the ones that are usually neglected, and then pick in the middle. The one on top is usually the one that gets the most feedback. So be sure that before you pick someone in the classroom to provide feedback for, that everyone has equal feedback, because it's a real bummer to submit your draft and not get any peer feedback, right? So as always, the way you navigate through a session in order is by clicking next. So last week you worked really hard on brainstorming and creating that detailed outline. So now you're going to be using that outline from session 3 to write your first draft. When you're ready, submit it as a file on the next page. And this is where you would do that. So be sure that you submit your first draft here as a file and explain in your post. Don't just post it. You post it and then explain your post specifically what you're proud of in your paper so far and what you'd like some more help with. Then go in and help I'll change that to 2 other students to revise their paper. Be sure to read through the draft thoroughly and provide in-depth feedback on their work. Your feedback should include positive things about the text as well as concrete ideas on how they could improve it. Okay? So the discussion is worth 30 points today, so it's a little more this week. You'll get 10 points for posting and 20 points for your feedback. Then what you'll do is review the rubric that goes hand in hand with your draft. So you'll post your draft and then wait for feedback from your peers and from me, and then make sure that you review it with this rubric in hand, okay? And then once you review your final draft along with the rubric, you'll submit your final draft here. And then finally, for the last assignment in this session is an exit slip. So an exit slip is just a really good opportunity, like I mentioned, to reflect on what you learned in this unit and what you'd like to learn more about. So finish the following prompts with complete, thoughtful sentences and submit them on the next page. One thing that I learned in this unit is blah, blah, blah. Not blah, 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 but you know. Number 2, I didn't understand. And number 3, I would like to learn more about. Submit that here. And then you are done with your unit and your explication. And by the end of this week, also, remember, for those of you that are full-time JVA students, if you haven't completed your AcuityC test, you will be hearing from me. That's what I'm going to be doing today, is going through the AcuityC testing. So it's not too late. If you are a full-time JVA student and you did not complete it yet, go ahead and go back into session 3 and get that information and complete your testing. Otherwise, you'll be hearing from me. Everyone have a great week. Hope it warms up, and take care.